Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of What If Izuku Midoriya bonded with Venom. I hope you guys enjoyed the last one and hit that like goal because I have no idea if you did or not, because I'm recording this the day before it comes out. Yeah. That said, I hope you enjoyed this one too. Like, subscribe if you're new. If you like, please try to reach 150 likes for the next part next week. And you can also check out my Discord, link in the description below, as it's a fun place where you can see the assets and stuff as they're made, and you can even give input sometimes if you get the right roles and stuff. I have little more else to say, so enjoy the video. "How are the trials going?" a man asked while entering a laboratory, a group of 3 scientists following behind him. "The results have been mixed, sir," one of the scientists answered. "So far all the test subjects have either rejected the organisms or they have bonded temporarily only to be consumed by the organism. We haven't found a way to stabilize the bonding process." "Disappointing to say the least," the man in charge said, overlooking a pile of dead bodies and the containers that house the symbiotes. He then turned to his secretary and asked, "Has there been any answer from Dr. Garaki?" "Yes, Dr. Drake," the secretary answered. "He's done his own analysis of the species and come to the same conclusions. As requested, he'll supply his findings to us in exchange for the materials to conduct his own experiments. He has been fusing them with his artificial human creations in order to test the survivability factor. So far, the results have been mixed." "Interesting," Carlton said. "I do believe that if anyone can have a successful trial, it's him. The man is second in command of the symbol of evil, after all. This will no doubt be the best way to test what these parasites are capable of, and without staining our hands at that." Carlton paused for a moment, looking at the data presented in a computer screen. "What about Subject 1477? How's he doing?" Carlton asked, curious. He was the only person to have survived the symbiosis process for more than a week. "The boy, sir. At first we believed he was in the process of decay, but this fact was proven incorrect. He has recently entered UA High," the secretary answered, looking over her papers. "What course?" Carlton asked. "Hero course, sir. He'll be part of Class 1A starting the new semester," the secretary answered. "Interesting. The boy has likely the most versatile and powerful abilities in the world, and he squanders them on this? Wanting to be a hero? What a waste. Contact the doctor again. I have another request to add to our deal," Carlton said, smiling to himself. Things were progressing well. A couple days after Midoriya got accepted into UA High, he received a bunch of pamphlets and forms that he needed to fill out and send in before attending the school. Okay, the Quirk registration was updated months ago. All the relevant documents are ready. Now all that's left is to add requests for the suits. "Any ideas?" Midoriya asked while looking at the papers. He was alone in his room but didn't know what to specify. Venom pretty much covered the whole suit part.
"Something cool,"
Venom answered.
"Other than that, I don't know. You're the one who's usually planning these things. You can make our prototype."
"I'm not sure if I'd call that a prototype," Midoriya said. "All I did is use my allowance to buy shoulder pads, a helmet, and a couple other things." He put his pencil to his mouth, thinking, "If I'm in charge here, then the first thing we have to consider is weaknesses and strengths. We have to cover all our bases. We're weak to fire, right?" Midoriya asked. He remembered feeling weaker when close to flames, but other than that, he couldn't recall anything else.
"Yes, fire. Don't like fire. It really hurts. Oh, and Sonic's sounds above 86 kilohertz.
Venom answered, giving Midoriya a good idea what to go with. Midoriya started doodling on a piece of paper, drawing a basic design for the suit. We need to encompass all our weaknesses. It hasn't happened yet, but in case we got separated, the suit still needs to remain that. A suit. Just one you can work on. Reinforcing it with plating for normal fights is likely the best bet. If we're worried about fire and heat, we can request the plating be made out of tungsten and ask for the fire-resistant cloth to hold it together. That way you can still hide behind it in a fight. I'm not sure what we can do about Sonics though, but requesting something like that is the best bet. We'll still need pouches to transport things like food, chocolate, and medicines, not to mention a first aid kit. Alternate weapons or ways to fight might also be a good idea. But what? Midoriya mumbled to himself, writing down small notes around the drawing.
What about a firearm? With rubber bullets, of course.
Venom asked, trying to accommodate for his partner's sensibilities. You mean a gun? Midoriya asked, snatched out of his deep thought. A gun isn't very heroic. Maybe adding a pocket knife you can enhance? A couple fire suppressors and flashbangs will be the best strategy. Maybe even smaller explosives. That can add a bit of an arsenal to use in combat.
Seems like you have accounted for everything,
Venom said. Yeah, anything else we might need? Midoriya asked. He put down everything he could think of.
Yes,
Venom answered. What? Midoriya asked.
Food. I'm hungry.
Venom answered, making Izuku's stomach grumble. Ugh, fine, Midoriya said, putting all the papers together and getting them ready to send in and going to the kitchen after to eat. A couple of weeks passed and the new school year began. At home, Izuku got ready for his first day at a brand new school, tying his shoes together at the entrance. Are you sure you packed everything you need? You got all the food you need, right? I know you've been eating a lot more recently. You didn't just pack action figures, did you? Inko asked, slightly embarrassing Izuku.
Why is she pestering us?
Venom asked, annoyed. Of course they had everything. He already made sure of it.
We already have everything we need. We should get rid of her.
Yeah, I got everything I need, Mom, Midoriya said, ignoring his partner's words. He'd explained everything once he left the house. He got up and tried to leave, but was stopped by his mother's words. Izuku, I just want you to know, I'm very proud of you. I hope everything goes well on your first day. Hearing those words, Midoriya couldn't help but smile at her. Thanks. I'll see you later, Mom, Izuku said, leaving the house. Once he was a bit further away, he started thinking. You can't say things like that, V. Especially not about my mother. Communicate with his partner. It wasn't something very nice and certainly not heroic.
I still don't understand what that means,
Venom retorted. After all, his species didn't have the concept of parents. Once you were born, that was it. You were on your own. Well, it's not something heroic to do for starters. But what don't you understand? Izuku asked. The concept seemed explained enough to him.
What is a mother?
Venom asked, making his question as concrete as possible. That's hard to explain. Let's just say that she brought me into this world and raised me ever since. Midoriya explained. He really didn't want to get into details.
So, she's like your progenitor?
Venom asked. One of them, yeah. But she also took care of me and made sure I was happy and safe for most of my life, Midoriya answered as they reached the train station.
Not quite the same setup where I come from, but I get your request. I'll refrain from saying something like that again,
Venom said, apologetically, while looking at some of Izuku's memories that included his mother. Thanks, Midoriya said as the memories came flooding in. Hey V, Stop doing that! Midoriya complained, feeling Venom messing around with his memories. After a short train ride and walk, Midoriya arrived at UA High. He started running through the hall, searching for his classroom. He was running a bit late.
There it is,
Venom said, spotting the door to Class 1A before Midoriya could. They both approached the classroom, spotting a huge door in front of them.
Why is the door so big?
Venom asked, curious. I don't know, Midoriya answered out loud, staring at the door. I was about to ask the same question.
Why are we just standing here?
Venom asked, having been there for a couple seconds without making any movements. I'm just wondering who'll be in my class, Midoriya said, reaching for the door. He slid it open and found a scene playing out between a blue-haired boy wearing glasses and a kid with spiky blonde hair, which he recognized as Katsuki Bakugo, or Kachan. Take your feet off the desk now! It's the first day and you're already disrespecting this academy by scuffing school property, you cretin! The blue-haired boy spat out. He seemed like a huge stickler for the rules. You're kidding me, right? Did your old school put a stick up your ass or were you just born with it? Bakugo asked. The smug tone wasn't helping things. He was clearly trying to antagonize his new classmate. Let's start over. I'm Tenya Ida from the Somei Private Academy, Ida said, trying to at least correct the relationship with his new classmates. He couldn't have things going off the rails on his first day. Somei, huh? You must think you're better than me, Bakugo said, as smug as ever. I'm going to have fun tearing you a new one. You would threaten me? Your own classmates? Are you sure you're in the right place? Ida asked in a surprised tone. Why would a hero threaten anyone, especially their companions? Bakugo scoffed at the remark and leaned back. Ida wasn't in his way now, so he got a clear look at the doorway, spotting Midoriya there. An angry expression overcame his face, causing Ida to redirect his attention. Good morning, Ida greeted, approaching one of his new classmates at the door. My name is Tenya Ida from the... Yeah, I heard, Midoriya nervously said before introducing himself. My name is Izuku Midoriya. Super nice to meet you. Likewise. I look forward to working with you. I saw you in the entrance exam swinging around the buildings. You must have quite the interesting quirk, Ida said.
Not a quirk,
Venom said inside Midoriya's head. He was tired of people confusing him for a quirk, but he couldn't say anything against it without exposing himself at least. Well, yeah, I can create this goop from my body that I can manipulate in many different ways, Midoriya said, trying to pass Venom off as a quirk. But I saw you in the exam too. Your power was cool. Super speed, right? Ida had a satisfied expression on his face, but before he could say anything, a girl walked from behind, interrupting the conversation. Hey, I recognize that messed up hair. The black suit guy. Midoriya, right? I'm so glad you passed the practical exam and we're in the same class. Thanks for saving me, she said in an energetic fashion. It was her first day of class. Of course she was going to be energetic. It was her chance to meet new people and make new friends.
why are your non-penetrant levels rising?
Venom asked as Midoriya began to blush. Shut up, V, Midoriya whispered. Yeah, I'm Midoriya, and you're Uraraka, right? Nice to see you again. Yeah, that's me. I'm so excited. What do you think we're going to be doing today? Besides orientation, I mean. I wonder what our teachers are like. I can't wait to meet them, she said energetically and in quick succession, not allowing Midoriya to put a word in edgewise. If you're just here to make friends, you might as well pack your stuff now, a homeless-looking man in a sleeping bag said, approaching the students from behind, scaring them. Welcome to UA's hero course, he said while getting off the ground, taking off his sleeping bag. It took 8 seconds before you all shut up. That's not going to work. Time is precious. Rational students will understand that. I'm Shota Aizawa, your homeroom teacher. Everyone started staring at Aizawa, a look of confusion on their faces. Right. Let's get to it. Aizawa said, grabbing his sports uniform out of his sleeping bag. Put these on and meet me outside. The class followed their teacher's orders, and after a couple minutes, everyone was present at the PE grounds, where Aizawa informed them that they'd be doing a Quirk assessment test. The students didn't really understand what he meant, so he asked Bakugo to demonstrate. Aizawa handed Bakugo a ball, which using his quirk he managed to throw 705.2 meters. Seeing that amazing display of power, the class got very excited at the idea of the Quirk assessment test, which prompted Aizawa to add a penalty. The one with the worst score would end up being expelled.
This guy is mean,
Venom said, hearing that declaration. Still, I think we can pass, but just in case, let's do our best here. We can't get expelled, Midoriya thought as Uraraka started complaining to their teacher that it wasn't fair, which prompted him to argue that the world isn't fair. The first test they had to do was the 50-meter dash. Midoriya started stretching, getting ready for when he had to do the test. Okay, V, I'm gonna need your help here. Let's go as fast as we can, Midoriya thought to himself while stretching. He knew his name would be called soon.
Got it,
Venom responded, giving his partner his full support. As predicted, Izuku was called up next to do the test, along with Kachan. The people who had done the dash prior did an amazing job, only making Midoriya want to push himself further. Once he stepped up to the starting line, a black goop started overtaking Midoriya's body, enhancing his basic capabilities. It was similar to the one he wore in the entrance exam, but was missing the defensive parts. So, he's the boy with the strange suit. A transformation type quirk then, Aizawa thought to himself, analyzing his student. The dash started and Midoriya pushed himself as hard as he could. He managed to complete it in 4.53 seconds. Thanks, V. We didn't do so badly on this one, but we should probably step it up for the next test, Midoriya said to his partner.
Okay, I'll do what I can,
Venom answered.
but you should probably refuel while we can.
After the 50-meter dash, the next test was the strength grip test. For this test, Midoriya manifested Venom in only the necessary muscles, enhancing his strength as much as possible. He ended up maxing out the scale, even breaking it slightly.
Sorry,
Venom said.
I didn't expect the material to be so easily breakable.
It's made to be able to take pressure up to 999.99 kilograms. How much force did you put? Midoriya asked.
A couple of tons,
Venom answered.
You told me to go all out. I didn't expect to have to restrain myself.
For the standing long jumps, Izuku manifested the Venom suit fully, jumping with as much strength as he could, even making some tendrils to propel himself further and land properly at his destination. He missed the sandpit by quite a lot. Izuku Midoriya. Seems he can manipulate his transformation to make objects. Interesting quirk indeed. Physically he's strong, and he seems to have the brains to use the abilities appropriately, Aizawa thought, observing the jump. The next test was the sidestep jumps. Midoriya got into position and started the exercise, but he got a bit ahead of himself, starting a second before the timer started. As a result, Aizawa used his quirk on him, trying to cancel Midoriya's out. Still, the Venom suit retracted back into Midoriya's body. What's going on? Midoriya wondered out loud, frightened of the implications.
He used a weird attack. I think it's made to make quirks not work. It would be suspicious if you didn't stop using your power,
Venom answered, trying to put Midoriya's mind at ease. I erased your quirk. You started a moment too early. It would have been irrational to let you waste your strength if it's not going to count. Try it again now, Aizawa said while blinking, returning the effects of the power to Midoriya. Midoriya then started the exercise again. What's wrong with being found out? Midoriya wondered.
Don't know. Don't remember. Just scared.
Venom answered. He knew full well that he was lying. He saw his friends taken away to do experiments on. He only survived because he was a coward. If he was found out now, then he would be taken away too and Midoriya would be experimented on. After the sidestep jumps came the softball throw. He ended up only throwing the ball 705.3 meters, a score which pissed the crap out of Bakugo. After came the distance run, then the seated toe touch, and lastly sit-ups, all tests where Midoriya did pretty well. After all the tests finished, Midoriya took some more food out in order to replenish his strength. In the meantime, Aizawa crunched the numbers. He gathered the class together and showed them the results. Midoriya got 4th place, right behind Bakugo, which royally pissed him off. A weakling a mere year ago, now he was close to his own level. And as for who's going home, Minoru Mineta, go to the prince's office. You're expelled, Aizawa said, scaring the whole class. That will teach you not to get distracted and take tests seriously. What? He was serious? The class wondered out loud while seeing Mineta plead with Aizawa, trying to get his position back. As for the rest of you, pick up a syllabus and go home, Aizawa ordered, walking away. You may have gotten the high score today, Deku, but I will kill you next time, Bakugo said, bumping into Midoriya while leaving. As everyone else went home, Mineta headed to the principal's office where the expulsion papers went through. Once that was done, he left the principal's office, ready to head home, defeated. Oh hey, Mr. Aizawa, he said, spotting the teacher on his way home. Minoru Mineta, you are officially reinstated into this academy. Congratulations, Aizawa said while moving away, giving Mineta his readmission slip. Tears started spilling from Mineta's face as he started wondering why Aizawa would do something so mean. Well done during the test today, Midoriya, Ida said, approaching his classmate. He did take a liking to the boy. You're going to the station, correct? Let me join you. Okay, Midoriya answered, but I didn't do that good of a job. You got pretty close to my position. Yes, but sadly I only managed to get 5th place. Still, next time I'll pose more of a challenge, Ida said.
He's coming,
Venom said, causing Midoriya to stop paying attention to Ida and turn around. There he saw that Venom was right. The girl from before, Uraraka, was approaching. Hey, what up, you two? Are you going to the station? I'll join you, she said, running to catch up to the two. Oh, you're the Infinity Girl, Ida said, referring to her by her score during the softball throw, a score that really left an impact. I'm Ochako Uraraka. Let's see, you're Izuku Midoriya and Tenya Ida, right? The girl asked. That is correct, Ida stated as Midoriya said, yes. The 4 of them then headed to the station on their way home, unaware of the trials and tribulations that laid ahead of them. And that's the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. That said, I'm gonna start talking now while there's an image of a fun factoid probably on the screen that relates to this universe. Yeah, I don't know if you guys reached the like goal in the last video, as I'm recording this before the video even comes out, and regardless of if you reached it or not, I was planning to release the video today because that's just how I roll. As for the Venom decisions, I am still going with the idea I was going with when I started the Celestials version, but I'm gonna try to add my own little flair to it because as you can see in the first scene of this episode or this part, Carlton Drake is already introduced because there's going to be this. They are going to be the main villains of the series. Sure, the League of Villains still exist, but for Izuku personally, they're the main antagonist. As another one, whoever gets one for all in this version will be the one who will have Shigaraki as their main antagonist. Sure, Midoriya will help, but the main conflict for Midoriya in this one, and Venom as his partner, is the Life Foundation, or will be the Life Foundation, as that is more or less what I have planned. Yeah, but there will be this connection between the League of Villains and the Life Foundation. I personally have not seen much of the We the Celestials version since I stopped working on that What If for them. Last part I wrote was part 5. Maybe watched 1 or 2 in the middle, but I have no idea where they took the story. Yeah. So I'm free to do whatever I want after I reach a point. This video luckily was on the shorter side. It was still over 20 minutes of video, but it was on the shorter side for me because lately, like, part 1 was 40 minutes, and that hurts my voice. I still haven't recorded the Venom voice as of this moment. It will only come tomorrow when I actually get to it because I don't want to strain my voice as I want to record the next video. That said, if you guys want the next video, let's go for 150 likes, even though you probably know by now. It is not necessary. Yeah. I just want to encourage you to hit that like button. That said, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Enjoy this November time. Thanksgiving is coming soon. For the time being, there will only be Venom on the channel. That will be November's series. December series will be a different one, which we will see when it comes. That said, until next time, everyone, have an absolutely fantastic day. Bye!